Dear Diary, making the decision to immigrate to Calgary felt like I was placing an Amazon order for freedom, endless possibilities, social security, and a beautiful world of seamlessly integrated multiculturalism. Only instead of autofilling my credit card information, clicking buy now, and receiving my package the next day, I spent months filling out paperwork and acquiring various documentations. And I spent years waiting for my visa. And when my metaphorical package finally did arrive, it wasn't exactly what I ordered.
We're Onya and Tomi, and on Diary of a Niger Immigrant, we're talking about what happens after you buy that one-way ticket. We'll chat with guests and hear their immigration stories. We'll commiserate, celebrate wins, and gossip about recent microaggressions. Buckle up, y'all. Welcome, everyone, to episode 3 of Diary of a Niger Immigrant.
Yeah, we need a shakara here.
So true. We should bring one in next time. I love that. Okay, Oni, who do we have today as our special guest?
Yeah, we have an amazing voice in the Black community here in Calgary, a Nigerian, an awesome personality. Okay, I must admit, the first time, I actually thought our guest was a snob. I was like, I will send this guy DM every time. You will not respond. Which kind of... These are our Niger people now. I will just come to this country. I will not start carrying shoulder. I was like, no, he's not nice. It was someone who told me and was like, no, just give him another chance. Like, seriously, he likes to build community and everything. I was like, let me just send hey. I not even said, I just like, hey, Chiwai, hey. And he was like, hey, what's up, sis? I was like,
okay. Maybe
I was like, okay.
Chance.
Yeah, maybe this is the second chance.
Oh my God, I love that arrogant first impression.
Honestly. And like the conversation from there just, it doesn't even feel like, today is the first time I've actually seen him face to face.
Oh, really?
Yes. This is the first time. And it doesn't feel that way. Like there's no awkwardness. So like, he's an amazing
Now I'm going to make it awkward.
Yeah. Now, see, we're going to make you answer for yourself.
Now that you said that.
He's an amazing voice. So don't get it twisted. He is an amazing voice and someone who likes to build community. So if you've had the kind of experience I've had with him, just give him another chance.
Please, one more chance.
Another chance.
I beg you, one more
This
chance.
is the intro. He's not that bad. And if you've had a bad experience with him, give him another chance.
Give him another chance.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest.
Yeah, because Canada is very overwhelming,
you.
right? And sometimes, like, so many things, you're just busy trying to pay bills and all of that. And then you think you've seen a message and you responded, but you didn't respond.
Yeah.
So, like, it happens every time to everybody.
It's mostly because I'm just terrible.
Yeah.
With keeping up on socials and all that. I will say it for myself. I'll own it with my full chest. I am the worst. The easiest way, just pick the phone and call me. I will respond right away.
That's
but
interesting.
Texting, dude, that
That's
thing is
interesting.
hard.
I feel the same way, though. I'm so bad at it.
I haven't seen anybody in recent times who likes to answer calls. I feel like everybody prefers to be
Maybe
on
because
text.
I'm 73 years old, because I'm old.
Sam, can you just introduce yourself?
Yeah.
To us, to your audience. Tell us.
Can't.
You're like, absolutely not.
No.
Tell us who you are. Tell us what you do,
He's
what
an
your thing
award-winning
is.
photographer. I was going to
can't.
say that.
So true.
Yeah.
Beyond being an
This-
award-winning.
This Onye girl, she has introduced me in a very friendly way, so we leave it like that.
Beyond being award-winning and arrogant.
Yes. Let's add that to it. Then add snob at the end of it. My name is Sam Obadero. I am a noisemaker, I like to say. And I believe that, on a more serious note, that my core reason for existence is to create bridge and to be available for folks. Of course, my means of livelihood these days is digital photography. But I say it's just an excuse to meet people. I love to meet people. I love to laugh. I love to meet people. I'm very curious. I'm a people watcher. I can stand on this window till 6 o'clock.
Where did the day go?
Yeah, that's what this one they work out. Okay, then that's why they wear that boots. I love the people watch. I think it's my curiosity that drove me into photography in the first instance. Like getting to see people close up shots of people, looking into people's eyes, seeing how they react when I say smile, when I say turn this way, or when I say certain things to kind of elicit or get them to laugh or get them to look serious. I'm genuinely interested in human interactions and stuff, and I find that I studied computer science. By the way, I worked as an IT person. I was one of the teams that set up the largest YMCA in the world.
Interesting.
Okay.
So there is that side to me, but it never really truly sat deep within. It was just work.
So do you do any work in that space these
right
days?
now? No.
No. Okay.
Except for using my computer to do shit. But
That's
but
interesting,
mostly,
especially in Canada where
yeah.
IT is like the big thing.
and I chose to be broke, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Really weird, right?
Yeah.
Like I want to be an artist. I just want to be broke.
Wow. That's
Oh my gosh.
And my
Okay,
journey
cool.
to Calgary was, or rather to Canada, was 4 years ago. I like to think that these days I'm getting a little bit used to it. It's still pretty much a lot,
Yeah, fair.
especially with the food.
Oh.
My palate just choose to stay Naija.
Yeah,
I guess probably because I'm 73 years old. I'm like so used
You're
to.
73
Yeah,
years
I'm
old.
used to my eba. I'm used to my amala. I'm used to my
Yeah.
my akpu. I'm used to like Naija palate, my Naija taste of food and soup and all that. And I remember my first outing here with my friends at YMCA, my colleague at YMCA, and they took me to this place. It was like around December. We had like this end of the season kind of team bonding, and then went to eat in this place. And the gentleman that brought the menu to me just assumed that I knew everything on it, right? So he just left it with me and he went away. And I'm there just looking at the higher education in front of me, like, I beg, where will I start from now? What's all this thing now, for Christ's sake?
Literally, what is any
Anyway, I saw one thing that looked familiar, something fish.
Okay.
So I said, I know fish now. Fish cannot be that deep. Fish, give me fish now. Abba. So then it went away, and then he brought this so-called fish. I tell you, what they call that thing? Is it timbit or tib?
Oh yeah, Timbits.
Yeah, that size of those things. That was the size of the fish on the plate.
Interesting.
The rest of it was just leaf. Like fresh leaf. I tell you, I could have gone outside to go and pluck that leaf myself and just put it on. I was like, wait.
What kind of cuisine was this? Like, where? Would you remember the restaurant? What restaurant was this?
It was can't remember what this place is called. It's like a game. Like it's a very popular place. I think it's on Deerfoot or somewhere. It's like,
I know what you're talking
many
about.
games
Yeah,
you can
Rec
go.
Room.
Yeah, Rec Room was
Okay,
Rec Room.
okay.
Exactly, was Rec Room.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then you have this place where you can order food and eat. And that was where it was. Exactly. That was,
And you're like, what?
I see all the pictures from that day. In fact, my colleagues at the time still tease me to today because I ate the fish in like 2 seconds, and I was just staring at
this plate of greens.
Okay, what will I do with this leaves now? And my boss at the time, Pedro, was like, Sam, you have to eat that too, right? I'm like, what? They didn't cook it. And then everybody started laughing.
Did you make this plate of garnish? You're like, what's the purpose of this? Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Okay, so like, walk us through a little bit that decision. You're home. You're kind of making that decision. Like, yeah, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna go to Canada. First of all, how long was that process in your mind? Like, did you have this plan for a long time before you actually came? And then once you arrived, what did that feel like?
The short one or the long one?
Choose one. So let's talk prior to coming.
So prior to coming,
where was your head at?
I'd always fantasized about living outside of Nigeria. There is a general syndrome where I come from these days that we've called Japa. Every young chap wants to Japa. So I've always wanted to Japa. But in my head, it was US. It was to go to the America, just go and not come back, right? I remember searching on the web to look for information and all that. I just stumbled literally on the Express Skilled Entry Program that the Canada does. And I'm like, interesting. Let me apply for this guy. And then I applied. I wrote my English test. I think all of that process took me about 7 months.
Okay.
And then I was here.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. It was very fast. It was super fast. It was super fast because I guess also because I I'm an IT person.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did English test. It was a breeze.
Yeah.
Everything just checked out pretty nicely. And I just had my books in order really quickly.
Yeah.
And then in 7 months I was here. And I think I stepped out of the plane on the 19th of August. By the way, that trip, 4 years ago now.
Okay.
That trip was the longest trip in my life. I almost told the pilot that. Pilot, wait, I'm coming down. You know what? You people should leave me here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Thank you. Waiting. Are we not going to get there? And then you know how you're on the plane and you're looking at like that trip.
Yeah, yes, yeah, the map.
Yeah, the map. And like, this plane is not even moving.
No, literally.
What? It was so long. It was super long. My leg was swollen like this. I'm like, I beg.
It wasn't direct though.
No, I didn't take a direct flight.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, I can
It was
only
a connect
imagine.
flight. I stopped where I can't remember where I stopped. Anyway,
Yeah.
and I got here in August.
Okay.
August for
not
me
bad.
was very okay. I hear you.
You're like, oh, not bad, huh?
August for me was very cold.
Cold, yeah.
Wait.
Yep. August for me was
What
super
was
cold.
how many degrees?
I can't remember, but I was freezing. I remember
were
telling the
not
person who drove me from the airport. He had the glass wound down.
Uh-huh.
I can still remember me telling the guy in a whisper, like, please, can you help me wind up? Like, I did cold for you. And he just started laughing at me. I was like, you get used to it. By the way, this guy was wearing short and t-shirt.
Yeah.
Me, I was even wearing my jackets.
Really? I was going to ask what you were wearing.
I was wearing a jacket. Who that shirt on that? I was cold.
Interesting.
I was cold.
And this was August.
Okay,
I was cold. I was cold. I was scared. I was worried. But I promised myself that I'll give it the best I can.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my entrance into Canada. Don't ask me why I chose Calgary because I can't answer that one. Literally,
You're just kind of there. So I feel like, coming here through the skilled workers program, again, you have this IT background. How did you get from there to like here, this artist that's, really like well known in your space and in like such a community builder in a completely different community than was originally your home?
It's a great question. That question makes me want to cry sometimes when I hear it.
Cry. We want to see it.
They want to see me cry. I will not cry. All my enemies that want to see me cry.
It would be so nice to see. I have one photo of him
crying.
in paint. So if I have another one with the tears, that would
it will not happen. I will not
content.
cry. But it gets me emotional when I think about it to myself. And I know that. And why that is because I listen to a lot of people that I respect talk about how they got to where they currently are. And I hear them say a lot of things that I'm like, that's really sounds like bullocks. A lot of self in it. But I can't say that for myself. I like to believe that whatever for me it's not, I would say luck, I would say God, I would say right timing, I would say because really and truly I'm not in any way special. Zero. I'm not in any way more talented than the next person. Zero. I am the worst. I can talk from now to tomorrow, but photography for me is just an avenue for me to talk. Really, it's just a chance for me to get into somebody's mind and know who they are and why they are and all that. So for me to then come in, win the award as a new Canadian Artist of the Year, have my residency at the Central Library for a couple of months, speaking at all the libraries in Calgary, having exhibitions in those places, getting a chance to have scholarship at U of C, doing all of my programs and stuff. It came as a breeze, really. Wow. Luck, God, right timing, anything you call it, I'll say that's what it is. It's more of that than myself. But of course, I'm a loudmouth. So and then I get a chance to enter the room and I don't keep quiet. I'm all over the place, talking and laughing at the back and throwing myself around and dancing. Like, I don't play the music, I'm going to twerk. I don't care.
It's happening. I mean, I do have to say that, well, yes, I totally agree. And, like, I appreciate that perspective of just, like, yeah, timing, right place, luck, and all that stuff. I do think it requires a degree of commitment to like yourself and kind of knowing like who you are, knowing to some degree what you want, and then allowing things to fall into place, because I think that like probably other people might come and just rely on like the stability of like, okay, I can do this. I have this IT background. I can just kind of like fall into this sort of path that's already determined for me in terms of like, you're going to be successful in this way. So I do think it is a testament that you were kind of able to be like, this is what I want. This is what feels good to me.
Spot on.
And like, yeah, how can I just lean into that?
Spot on. You're right. What I said earlier is one-sided. The other side of it is my being stubborn also. My being passionate about the path I've chosen. I'm like, this is the bridge. I'm gonna tour this bridge. I don't care whatever happens on the side. And literally, I sleep, I eat, I bleed. This path I've chosen. I commit my all into it. Is my lover, is my wife, is my girlfriend, is my all. Literally my all. It's the food that I eat. There is no plan B. There is nothing else other than this. So I commit myself fully to it. That would balance it out and say that all of those other things I said earlier, plus just the fact that I just drenched myself in this mess, man. This is the mess that I've made for myself. This is where I'm going to be at. So I do not have a plan B. Living an IT world, to set up my studio. In like 3 months after I set up, 3 or 4 months after I set up, my studio was buggled and they stole all my stuff, stole my camera, stole my computers.
In this Calgary?
Yeah, in this Calgary.
So it still happens here. Okay.
Have you? Oh, yeah. They play me Lagos, they play me Nigeria for Calgary. Straight up.
Sure, I don't go Lagos like this by.
Straight up.
So discouraging.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Stole all my things, literally, and then like that's enough to say, you know what, I mean, you know what, I got my resume, I'm just gonna go back and get my IT job, right? But I already promised myself that I'm gonna make this work. So so there's that also, like you said, there's that also that is a big part of the picture that I was trying to paint.
Yeah, I'm just so curious because like you said, like you're like, it was never really about the photography itself.
Yeah.
It's about connecting with people.
Yeah.
What made you choose that lane? Like, what made you be like, yeah, this is the right tool for me, photography. I'm going in and I'm committed to this.
You ask very hard questions. Can you ask me simple questions?
Yeah, like favorite color.
Yeah, just do. What do you like to eat? Just do that. Blue. Amala. Okay. Done. Out. Peace. But yeah, thinking about it, I would say that the first option for me wasn't photography, really. It was cinematography. I actually went to study cinematography.
You did?
So it was while studying in Lagos. So in Ikeja. While studying cinematography was where I found photography. And I got hooked in there. So it was cinematography first, and then photography just interrupted that transmission. And I stayed there. But whether it's this or that, it's still, I think that genuinely, I'm just interested in I'm curious about people. I'm genuinely curious about people. And that's why I cannot be a fantastic landscape photographer. I cannot go and photograph mountains.
Yeah.
I cannot, I want to excel. I want to meet you. I want to say, hi, what's up?
Yeah.
What makes you tick? And then I'm shooting behind. So a lot of times I'm doing my sessions. I have my camera just beside me. I'm not even shooting. Book an hour session with me. 30 minutes of that, we are laughing and maybe crying together. I had some friends come from Edmonton for a shoot, and we had like a 3-hour shoot. We cried, we laughed, and when they left, they sent me a text saying that, Sam, we appreciate the session we had. It was a therapy for us. We were actually going through a couple of stuff, and they were friends. But we had seen your videos online. We had heard about you. And we knew that we wanted to just be in your space. So it's more about that for me, creating that experience and having that interaction. Even if we never meet again for the rest of our lives, but we had a moment.
Yeah.
In that moment, we took 2 photos. Like, okay. But the moment is that moment. We'll look at those photos and remember the moments we shared together. Yeah. So it's more about those moments for me. Whether it's photography, whether it's cinematography, whatever it is just interaction.
Yeah.
I think that's why... I'll say that's why. That's my main why. That's my main why. And in the course of that, I've been privileged to meet fantastic people. I've heard interesting, beautiful stories. I've heard heartbreaking stories. I've heard inspiring stories. A lot of things have been triggered for me. I've had moments I'm like, what? You mean you look this glam and beautiful and you hold your head this high and going through this much mess? You do not look it, girl. You are shining. And those moments inspire me. Those moments, those are the days I live for. Those are the things that make me wake up next morning to be like, oh, let's book the next shoot.
Yeah. When everybody sees you, they're like, oh, this guy, Sam is such a bubbly person. He's very nice to be around. He's always laughing, always joking, always dancing. But then, like, has there ever been a time or a moment where you're like, I'm tired, I don't want to do this anymore? Like, you're at the brink of giving up, but then there's this something keeps you going, and just walk us through it. That's the thing. He's always joking.
Have you been on my Instagram lately?
I have. I'm actually going to come to one question where something on your Instagram was actually what drew me to you. And I'm going to come to that one before then.
Okay, I would answer your question in two ways, and it's a great question. Yeah, and I'm happy you're answering because you're also a creative too. You're a photographer. You know how these things go, and you're also Black. I find that short answer, yes. I'm a mess. I'm a colossal mess. My non-work life is tremendously beautiful, I should say. So a lot of my work is also my therapy. My art form is my therapy also. The chance I get to share with you and laugh with you is my therapy. It's a selfish thing for me. When I'm working and photographing somebody, I'm actually healing myself. When you're sharing your own struggles with me, it's helping me also to connect and relate and feeling like, okay, there's a community here. So there's a lot of selfishness to the work that I do. So I struggle a lot, but photography, the art help me. And hey, I make money from it too, so I guess it's a win-win, right? So if I was asking if you've seen my Instagram, so a couple of days ago I posted something on my story saying that, hey friends, I'm going to be away for a while. I just need to sort some stuff. You can send me texts, send me your DMs, send me emails. I reply when I can. Thank you. And that's because February was tough for me. February was very, very hard for me. It was tremendously hard for me. Do you get stressed out with this Black History Month thing?
Oh my God. It is absolutely exhausting. It is exhausting.
Okay, it's not just me.
No, it's crazy. I'm like, why is this the only month where Black people are like running around? We're so tired. And it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's draining.
It is absolutely draining.
It's draining. So I've noticed that February is really very, very hard for me. It's hard for me because everything is just pulling you from every side. And it's also like that month that the reality of your Blackness really, really comes true to you. Because everywhere you go to, people are talking about the trauma, the everything. I'm like, oh, shit. And it creeps in and you don't know. It's just creeping in and it's just stains. Then at the point, it just gets like this Coca-Cola bottleneck place and you're just choking you. Like, what do I do from here? I'm just going to bust this bottle. And then there's that, and there's also life that's happening at the same time. And it's funny that a lot of times this energy is right. So when there's a lot of these negative things happening in like this open collective space, it can begin to mirror itself in your personal life too, right? So it just happens in that same time. And like, you know what, I'm just going to step away for a moment and just find myself and just love myself a little bit and just be selfish for a little bit and just don't socialize for now. And also... So I stopped picking calls. I've not been picking calls since I posted that stuff. I've not been replying to text messages I posted that stuff. I've been selectively replying to emails. The shoots I've booked before then, I'm still going to execute all of that. The things I'm committed to before, I'm going to do that. But I'm just a little bit selfish in the next couple of, I don't know, when I feel better, I'm going to step out again. Plus the fact that you just give yourself. And I'm an extremist in that way. I cannot be average. If I'm out,
you're gonna show up.
There is no out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
If I'm out, I'm gonna be the loudest in the room. And I think it's a lesson to myself to find a medium, to find a way to manage my energy so that I don't have this low lows and this super, super highs. So I get tired. I get very, very tired. Right now, I'm actually very tired. Right now, I'm super tired. A friend of mine called me before I came in here, and we're just crying together on the phone. And she was afraid for me. And I was like, no, I'm not checking out, though. I'm here. We go rock this life together. There's no checking out. But I need a moment. I just need a moment. I don't know. It's hard to sometimes pinpoint exactly what. Yeah. Like if you can pinpoint it, you can just go and fix it, right?
Exactly.
But you can't pinpoint. It's like literally all over the place and it's just checkered around. But the cloud will lift again and then the sun will shine and then you go out again and then just fly. And I'm getting to accept that these days. I'm getting to understand, okay, I think it's just who I am. It's just that there'll be this moment where I'll be super crazy and a moment where I'll be super, super down. And I'll just accept it whichever way it comes.
Right. I'm curious to know when you are such a positive, energetic force for other people's lives, and you come to spaces and you contribute really positively to every space that you're in. What does that self-care look like for you? Like when you were saying, sometimes you can't just pinpoint this is the problem. It's just there's all of these little things and everything just feels really overwhelming all of a sudden. And there's all of these things kind of building up on each other and you don't even know where the bleeding is. So but you're just I'm just struggling. How do you even start to practice self-care if I don't want to speak up for you, but if your identity is wrapped up in being really energetically giving? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. And it's so I'm trying to, even right now, I'm in a very fragile place right now, actually, I should say. I was working out at the gym 2 days ago and a senior friend of mine walks up to me. And usually I will do about 90 minutes at the gym. And this was me 20 minutes in. And he was like, hey, Sam, I've not seen you in a while. I saw you running around the track. You run like a gazelle. How are you doing? If he had said you run like a gazelle and walked away, I'll be fine. But the moment he asked me, how are you doing? And waited for an answer, I lost it. I broke down and started crying at the gym and I just walked out. Right now, I cannot answer the question, how are you doing? Unless you want to just hear me give the cliche one and just say fine and walk away. But if you want to hear me say how I'm doing seriously, I cannot answer it without being a mess.
You can listen to the rest of this conversation by searching The Diary of a Niger Immigrant on cgsw.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Diary of a Niger Immigrant is presented by Afros in the City in collaboration with Through Onyi's Lens.
You can keep up with us on Instagram by following Afros in the City, following Through Onyi's Lens, and of course, following Diary of a Niger Immigrant. Once you've done all that, just keep listening. Rate us, review us, love us, root for us. Until next time.